Hello and welcome to episode 10. Episode 10 already. Okay, so I have a couple of pieces of information I need to give you. Down in the action bar here, you'll see that I've replaced 3 of the tools. We have the shoveling steward, the hacking headsman, and the deadly duke. I haven't put anything on the shovel or the axe yet. They are just a manual tool rod, which you saw in the beginning, and some cobalt as the tool head, just because cobalt is the fastest base speed for any tool. And then the deadly duke is a thormium tool rod, a cactus handguard, and a manual sword blade. And you'll remember that I made the sword blade quite early on. I also didn't have the cactus, so where did I get the cactus from? If we look at the map, we're here centered on the base in the center of the screen, and you can see my player arrow there. If I keep going up the map, keep going, and keep going, and more, until we get somewhere here. Little boating around I had to do, and more, until finally we got to the desert. So that's quite a ways out. There was a heck of a journey I did off camera. Well, it was actually on camera, sort of. Episode 10 I was recording earlier before I updated the Raxpack to the latest version of configs. But there was some errors in the recording, and I hadn't recorded my sound, and some of the recording was black, and I have no idea what happened there, but that's how it happened. And that's why we have this huge journey unrecorded to go and grab cactus. I'm kind of glad for it, actually, because it wouldn't have made for good television. But now I have a few pieces of cactus. I also got some jungle saplings on the way, and some cocoa and some more mushrooms to get the ball rolling in other areas. I also killed some animals on the way and made some food, and it was just a big journey. The other thing is that I did a little bit of mining off camera as well. That was before I got the new tools down that way. It's all be covered up eventually again, but that's where I got the resources from. And I even started digging out the tunnel here. If we change it to the minimap to the underground mode, and then just map that out, you'll see that I've dug out that tunnel just a ways. And then I was thinking of digging back in this direction for the mushroom farm that we were going to do in the end of episode 9. So yeah, a lot happened. A lot of boring stuff happened. I'm kind of glad I didn't film it, to be honest. But it's good to get underway now. Also, new barrels. I also upgraded this cobble barrel to, not cobalt, cobble barrel to gold structure, and put a new +3 storage on it, because I was running out of room. I also moved a bunch of stuff around to make some room in the chests, already running out again. Yeah, I think that's everything updated. Got some more lava for the smeltery. Oh, I put in this hopper and stuff to collect the metal finally, rather than doing it manually like I have been, except for the ingot cast here. So I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to dig out the space for the mushroom farm. Now, I'm not sure how far in I want this to be, but I'm guessing about where this copper is, it will probably be the best place to put it. So in order to do that, we're going to just have to dig straight in. And we want it to be as wide as these tunnels, just initially. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so it needs to be 7 wide. So 2 on each side of this. That's the maximum width. And then because we're going around the corner, we just dig around like that. It'll work. And dig out that. Cool. And then we probably want to dig a couple of squares in, and then we want to put a doorway in, and then that will be how we enter the mushroom farm. So get out as much as we can. The only reason I'm not speeding this up is because there's not a lot to speed up until we start actually digging out the mushroom farm properly. Oh, and we've dug enough with this to have Fortune 2 now, which means that obviously we'll be getting more out of the blocks which drop items rather than dropping whatchamacallits, rather than blocks. So blocks that drop items rather than blocks that drop blocks. Hope that makes sense. I think we'll make the door fairly wide. I think 3 wide is pretty good. I know there's no doors that actually fit that in Minecraft, but we can come up with something later using pistons or something. So we just want to dig in. Of course, still haven't got around to prettying any of this up. We will in the future. It's going to be a long series. So I think 3 wide for the actual door itself. The door will sit somewhere in here. So we'll leave that to mark that out. And then what I was thinking for this room was that it would actually go off in that direction further. So the door here actually starts on the left side of the room and it extends that way. And the mushrooms flow in from that way. So it's wider than it is long. And it saves room between here and the hall that way. So something we want to make sure that we measure out when we're digging out this place is the fact that each of the rows of mushrooms that grow need to be 3 wide. So we need at least 2 grooves for that. So if I show you what I mean, this is a groove. If I have seed mushrooms here and seed mushrooms here, that's one groove where new mushrooms will go in and be harvested from. So we need 2 of these, which means we need 3 of these at least. But I was thinking more along the lines of 4 of these, or maybe even 5, and then have them run quite long that way, so that we get lots and lots of mushrooms coming in, hopefully. I did check the mushroom farm recently and it still hadn't grown anything. I think it's something that I've done wrong with the lighting. Mushrooms are apparently, according to the Minecraft wiki, meant to grow in like level 12 or lower. And I've checked the area and it does appear to be like level 12. So maybe it needs to be like level 11. Or there's a mod that's requiring it to be less. So if I'm marking this out right, we need that and that's 3. I think we'll go for 4 because we're getting quite close to the hole already. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, plus 1 because of the seeding line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can we do a 5th one? Yeah, we'll do a 5th one. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, if we were to mark this out, that would be brown mushrooms, mixed mushrooms, red mushrooms, mixed mushrooms, brown mushrooms, mixed mushrooms. Like that. Doesn't seem quite balanced, but maybe 6 would have been better. Or maybe 4 after all. So then we'd have brown mixed red, brown mixed brown. But then, yeah, see? So how many do we have? We have 2 brown and 1 red. How about we get rid of the mixed ones? And instead, we just have brown, red, brown, red, brown, red. I think I like that better. Brown, red, brown, red, brown, red. So that will be 3 lots each of each type of mushroom. Cool. So then we need to dig this backwards this way, the way that I'm facing now. So I'm going to dig that out as far as I think we'll need to. I think the mushrooms will be delivered here, and we'll have hoppers along here. We'll do it like sort of vanilla Minecraft style with hoppers and water and stuff like that, because it's the way that the video I watched did it, and I quite like that actually. It's got quite a mechanical nature to it, so that's the way we'll do it. And we'll use some Project Red to do the timing. I think that's the only thing that won't be vanilla about it. But I need to push this back. So if this is where the hoppers are along here, then we need to push this here back by 8. So we'll do 3 sets of 8. 16, 20, whatever, 24. Yeah, 3 sets of 8. So I will speed up here and I'll see you all soon. Okay, just something I want to clarify here. As you'll see, we have 3 lines going down here. X is going to work. Because the water's coming up from above. Let me just read that thing out first. The water's coming up from above. Oh no, it will reach. I'm just being nervous. Okay, we'll see you in a second. Okay, so I've already made a boo-boo, and you might have seen in the sped up footage, but these need to be 7 long, because with them being 7 long, if the water is coming from up here and it comes down, it's not going to reach. But once it flows down... Oh, no. Alright, I'm doing even worse now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm sure it was 7. Okay. I'll do it like that then. And then we have it. Okay, so that will reach the hoppers with 1 to spare, which is great. That's perfect. So that one there is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That one's 7, but this one is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm a dum-dum. I wasn't counting that one. Alright. Never mind. So yes, so it'll actually have to be 7 each for a total of 21, which is totally fine. So 3 sets of 7 rather than 3 sets of 8. I'll see you all soon. Okay, so we have that area dug out. So now I need to make it's 5 times 3, 15 hoppers. So I'm going to need a lot of chests for that. Do I have any spare? No, I don't. 8. Yeah, we'll just make the whole lot. There we go, 16. And then we need a whole lot of iron. That's 1 more. I had a feeling I would be a little short on the iron. It's okay though, because we only need to spend 10 more. Only. Alright, so there we go. 15 hoppers. And each one we will direct into a set of pipes underneath eventually. But so what we'll do first is want that one to point down, and we want that one to connect to that one and that one, just like that. Now we just do that a few more times. And there we have it. That'll be the hoppers that we need. But are they the ones that we deserve? So if I test this now, it goes all the way down, covering each of the points that we need, and flows over to the hoppers. And in order to save room, we'll have each of these buckets being dispersed by a dispenser that sits here, which will suck up the bucket once it's done with it, obviously. So the dispensers will go here each. And yes, we'll have 1 bucket per. I know it's kind of a waste or pointless, but I don't know, I kind of like the consistency and the overkill. And the other thing that we need to do now is sort out the lighting in this area so that it is consistent across the board. And in order to do that, I think I'll speed up again. I'll lift the roof a little bit, I think, but I'll speed up, lift the roof, dig out the areas that the lights need to be, test the lighting with F3, and be back to you when I've figured it out. See you soon. Okay, something I wanted to show you is how to determine the lighting for your mushrooms. So the way that we do that is we remove the lighting so that we don't get any false readings. And you'll see on my F3 as it shows here, the second line from the bottom on the left, you have LC 175, B for biome, boreal forest, B for block light, S for skylight, I think, or is it sunlight, and RL for, I'm not quite sure what that one is, but we're interested in BL. And as you can see, as I ran over this area, it changes. This is, BL is not the lighting that's at your head. So at head height, this blank is at my head height. The lighting that you're reading is the lighting at my feet height, which is this block right here that I'm punching, which hopefully you can see in the darkness of the YouTube video. But we want that to read 11. So if I put that torch up here, we can see it's 12. It's actually slightly too bright. So if we put that up there, we now have a reading of 11 on this block, which means that mushrooms should be able to grow in here because this is 10 and 11, 11 at maximum. Yeah. Hello, zombie. See? Even one block of red lets mobs spawn, so you can't have it. You just can't have it. What we might find later on actually is that I might have to adjust the light because, of course, as I said, the other mushroom farm that I've got going, the really cheap one that I did quite in the beginning, isn't actually working, or it doesn't appear to be working, or working very slowly. So there might be a mod that's affecting what light levels are valid. So we may have to adjust the light in the future and keep tinkering with this. But hopefully I can now go race to go get, I think the zombie actually came from out here. Race to go get the mushrooms from the storage and from the old farm, and I'll be right back. I just wanted to quickly show you, as you can see, over time I filled out the rest of these mushrooms, and if I check the light level in here, we've got 10 and 11 and none of them are growing. So yeah, that may be a bit tricky, and the other one, our new one, might not work, but we will see. If it doesn't work, there will be some sort of setup that is valid, so I'll make sure to figure that out as the series progresses, because we can't just go eating wheat all the time, we're dwarves. So I'll see you soon. And here I am back with my supply of mushrooms. I'm going to start planting them now, I guess. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're not going to have enough for all the rows, so I'll make sure that at least the front row of each of these is filled up. And any extras can go to the next row. Quite a lot more brown than we do red at the moment. One thing about mushrooms is they can be planted on absolutely any surface and will grow onto absolutely any surface as long as the surface is opaque, according to Minecraft. And opaque according to Minecraft is anything basically that you can put redstone on. I won't go into much more detail than that, but like for example, you wouldn't be able to put redstone on glass, so, or stairs. So there is that. Now we have quite a lot more brown than we do red. We've made it to the third tier of the farm. Okay. So that's all the seed rows for the mushrooms as we have them now. Hopefully the light level issues will sort themselves out. But we need to now put in the dispensers with their buckets, and then test them with a lever to make sure that they do suck them up, because I have a feeling that they might not suck them back up. They might deploy and that's it. Hopefully not. But we can figure something out if that is the case. I'm actually kind of glad I'm getting mobs down here. It means that I can collect some mob goodies as I'm going back and forth. And now with the new sword, it makes things less threatening to have them in my base. So here we go. We want to create at least one dispenser, which means we need to create at least one bow. Oh, we only have enough string for one bow, so we can only do one dispenser at the moment. I have to figure out a source of string pretty soon. I think I can make hemp from e-mashes to deal with that shortage. But we need some sticks. Make a few extras. We want to create the bow. Then we need the redstone and 7 more pieces of cobble. Yoink. Dispenser, cool. And a lever. Just test. So if we run back to the farm, and what I'm thinking is, because the distances in our base are going to become so big, I'm hoping that's a really good excuse for me to put in an elaborate rail system to get from each important area of the base. And just arbitrarily pick one of these, stick a bucket in, stick a lever above it, deploy water. Goes all the way to the end. And yes, it doesn't suck it back up. That is an issue. Alright, I'm gonna crawl around NEI for a bit, and then I will come back to you when I have an answer for this issue. See you soon. Okay, that took a lot longer than I expected. I actually worked out early on, you're probably like, you're an idiot and don't know vanilla Minecraft, but I figured out very early on after going away that a dispenser works by pulsing. So it does pick up the bucket again, but it needs a new pulse every time. You can't just on off like that. It needs a brand new pulse. The reason why it took a long time is because I was tempted to do the entire setup using Steve's Factory Manager, but that actually proved a lot harder than I anticipated, because there doesn't seem to be a good way to create delay using Steve's Factory Manager. So I decided to do the setup using Project Red after all. So what we're going to need is we're going to need 5 pulse formers, and we're going to need 5 state cells, and that should be all that we need. 5 state cells and 1 timer. So what that will do is the timer will create the first pulse to tell the dispensers to release the water, and then the state cell very quickly creates a pulse after an allotted amount of time, which will tell the dispensers to pick up the water again. So in order to make a state cell, simply look up state in NEI. We're going to need a bunch of circuitry. We can make all of this quite simply, but we're going to need a diamond saw. And do I have a diamond? That is a good question. I don't have a diamond. Let me just check all of these before I bite my tongue. Alright. Shouldn't take me too long to find a diamond down there in my new pit. So I'll just pop away for a second and find a diamond for us. Be right back. Yep, that didn't take too long to find it all. Got some new diamonds, and with fortune we get even more. So we got an extra 2 diamonds there. Awesome. That should cover our butts for a while. Yeah, there's some small mine shafts around here, so I could have a wander around off camera later on, get some new stuff, make sure that we've got resources for the next episode. And then, so I just dug straight down from, here's these stairs back up. So I'll see you up there. Alright, I am back in the base. Something we need to do first is we want to make a diamond hand saw, because that will let us get silicon. And how do we get silicon, you ask? Well, to get silicon, and we want this, the Project Red silicon, not the Applied Energistic silicon. We need a silicon bool, and we need to cut that. To make a silicon bool, we need sandy coal. To make sandy coal, we put sand around a coal block. So, fairly straightforward, and I think I'll make a couple while I'm at it, just to make sure. So we want 16 sand around 2 coal blocks. Gets us sandy coal compound, which we then quickly process. And with our silicon balls, we put them in a crafting table and get 16 pieces of silicon out of that. So, with that, we need to create infused silicon. To create infused silicon, surround silicon with redstone, which is quite alright. We only get 1 from each of these though, so it can get pretty expensive. And again, you just throw that in the furnace. And we're doing all this for a state cell. We're also going to need some more stone, because we're going to want to create a bunch of plates. And more than a few actually, so I'll just put a bunch of this in here. That should do the trick. So if we go back and look at the state cell recipe now, we're on our way to getting the silicon chip. We need anodes, conductive plates, very cheap. Anodes, also quite cheap, but again needs many of those plates. You get a few out of it obviously. You need cathodes, pretty cheap also, and a pointer, also very cheap. So, a couple of things we're going to need through looking at those recipes obviously is sticks, which we have in our inventory. Should really clear out some of this stuff that I picked up. Here we go. Now I have some room to work with. We need 2 redstone torches and 1 piece of stone. We need circuit plates. We need to go to our normal crafting table. Redstone and stone. Pointer, cathode, anode, then we need 2 conductive plates. Yes, 2 conductive plates. But while we're at it, we'll make our silicon chip and 2 conductive plates. And then we need just a little more plate. So, like this, pointer, anode, conductive plates, silicon chip, state cell. Now we need to do that 5 times, so I'll be right back while I get that done. And I'm back. I actually have the 5 state cells and 5 repeaters. I realized I'm going to need the repeaters because I don't want the signal to return from the state cell, and you'll see what I mean once I put it together. But the next thing for us to make in this line of what we're doing is we want to make red alloy wire, which means we need red alloy ingots, and to make them we need red iron compound. And to make that, we do the same as the silicon red wafers, except with iron. So I'm going to use, oh, I don't know, 8 iron, because we're probably going to need a bit of it in the future as well. So may as well get ahead. Oh, almost. Going through a lot of redstone, as you can see. But I suppose that's all about what it is in red power. So then we just need to cook them up. Which should be done pretty quick. Oh, and one other thing I just remembered is we're going to also need to make one timer. Shouldn't be too hard. It's similar to a state cell except cheaper, I seem to remember. So if I do timer, yeah, much cheaper because it doesn't have the silicon chip in it. So we need a couple of anodes. Looks like we have enough plates. We should have enough plates. So we have the anodes. We need 3 of these. What are they? Conductive plates. We need a pointer and a cathode. So we need a couple of sticks, which I have on me. Okay. Never seem to spot my sticks until I start searching around in boxes. Pointer, cathode, anodes, conductive plates, pointer, cathode, timer. Great. And then with our 8 alloy, I should have made just one more, but now we have 24, and I actually think I'll cook that up. I'll spare you the cooking process, but we'll dive straight into it while this is cooking. Okay, so, I mean, we don't have the other dispensers yet, but we can in fact set it all up while we wait. My water bucket is already in the dispenser, so we'll probably operate it from the door side, or it would set up the master stuff from the door side. But what I figured we would need is we would need just a little path back here, make like a maintenance shaft. It's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Great. So what we want to do now, other than just lighting this place up, is using this dispenser. I'll show you what we need to do. So we need to get our red alloy wire, our repeater, and our state cell, and we want our repeater to be here, and we want the state cell to be here, and then we want another piece of red alloy wire on the back and over there, and then we run this over this way, and then we should just need our I'll set these up as well while I'm at it. So we want the repeater, state cell, wire, state cell, repeater, come on brain, repeater, red alloy wire, and I actually needed more red alloy wire, so I'll run back and get that. We want the rest of our red alloy wire, need it back here. The other thing that we want to do is set all of these to 1 second. They default, oh, didn't mean to do that. They default to 2 seconds. And then I actually want to go Peter. I'm going to put the state cell on this side this time. And then we will put the timer, as well as setting the state cell to 1 second, over here. Jump. That's not what I wanted to do. Good thing I don't need the screwdriver. Excuse me now. I'm facing this direction. Okay, fine, you win. So if we set this to, say, 5 seconds, you'll see that once it gets round all the state cells, you get 1 pulse, 2 pulse. And if we go out here and look at this water, it's being placed and removed. That's just how we want it. Perfect. So all we need to do in the future is set up the new dispensers and put the water bottles in there. Water bottles. Water buckets in there. And I think what we'll do is we'll set this to, I think every 30 minutes should actually do it. Alright, 30 minutes, 1,800 seconds. So every 1,800 seconds, these will go off, and the state cell will make sure that the bucket is picked up straight away, which will clear out any new mushrooms and plop them straight into the hoppers at the bottom. So, what's left for this build? Well, getting the last of the dispensers, obviously, and that is about it, actually. Probably digging up some of this stuff so that we don't have to do it later, although Wand of Equal Trade will make prettying up the base a lot easier later on, which is part of Thorncraft, but we're not there yet, so I'll just make sure that everything is clear for now in front of the dispensers. I'll go make some water buckets, I'll get some more dispensers, I'll need to get some string, so I'm going to have to find a way to make that. Actually, let's look in NEI to see if there's anything we can do about that. I know one of the things we can do is make a wool card, but that also requires 9 diamonds, because we will need then to create a wool gen iron, a draw plate, which requires an iron block, because we need to cut it with the diamond saw that we have. But I didn't look at that very well, did I? Wool gen pulverizer. If we put wool in a pulverizer, we don't have one. Chemistry set. So hemp looks like our best bet. If we look up hemp, I believe we either find it in the world or make the seeds. Nope, we do have to find it in the world. So killing spiders seems to be the deal. So what I'm going to do, that's going to take a while. So what I'm going to do actually is go down into this mine and cut up some webs, and I'll be right back. One of the best things about abandoned mine shafts, lots of goodies. Got plenty of redstone, I even got some more diamonds, although fortune didn't seem to work there. But we also have some indium crystal, which when we find some farlanders we can purchase some good stuff from them. Lots of tin, which I'm going to put straight into the smeltery. Cassiterite, by the way, is the native name for an ore that produces tin. Lead, ferrous, iron, but most importantly, abandoned mine shafts are great for string. So we have 37 string, we shouldn't have string problems for a little while, hopefully. I also managed to find a poison spider spawner, although out of habit I destroy them straight away because I absolutely hate poison spiders. I'll just put this other stuff away. Also got an emerald. But yeah, so what we want to do now is we want to create 4 new not 4 planks, but 4 new bows. There we go. Which leaves us with quite a bit of spear string for the future. Shouldn't need too much string, and eventually we'll get round to mob spawners and things, but I feel like that's probably quite a while away yet in terms of the series life. So we got those 4. We also need 4 redstone, and we'll just take a stack of cobble here. Dispenser 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Now we have our 4 dispensers. We also need 3 more buckets. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Don't really mind if it's nighttime at the moment. And I need a little more iron. There we go. Oh, now I only needed 3 more buckets, not 4. Actually I need 4 because I won't have one for myself. 1, 2, 3. Great. So now we have everything we need for our dispensers. But I realized something while I was down there in the mines. What we need to do is we need to increase the time that the state cells stay on, because one of the problems is that even though the water covers everything and will pull up any mushrooms that grow, what's not going to happen is the water's not going to stick around long enough for all the mushrooms to flow down. So we need to make sure that those state cells stay on long enough. So what I'll do is I will, I think, change them to roughly, I think they can stay on for about 30 seconds. I think that'll do. So every 30 minutes, these state cells will be on for 30 seconds. And once 30 seconds is up, the bucket will be picked up, and hopefully the mushrooms delivered. Hopefully it'll only take 30 seconds for the mushrooms to flow down there. We'll have to see at some point. But that does that. Dispenser. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. And that doesn't need to be there anymore. Fantastic. So still no mushrooms have grown, which is a pain. I'm going to have to fiddle around off camera, I think. But with that, with our mushroom farm being completed, or at least our mushroom farm in this state being completed, I feel like it's a really good time to put this episode to an end and call this number 10. So thank you all for sticking around and watching me put this mushroom farm together, and I will see you soon. Bye. Oh, one last thing. To-do list, mushroom farm. Alright, now I'll see you all later. Bye.